So, good morning,
Bonjour.
Alain. Good morning. So, these elections, was it a surprise for you to see yourself to be elected Superior General? What impressions did you have?
Merci beaucoup
Well,
pour la
thanks for the question. I admit that there was a moment difficult for me to understand and accept. It was really a shock, I can say, that the confreres, that the capuchins, the delegates, they chose me as their next Superior General. I wasn't expecting that, and I spent a few difficult moments in the depth of my being actually to arrive at understanding what was happening to me and accept it. Okay, good. A question on the Spiritan mission. How do you see the big challenges of the missions for Spiritans today? So I think at the beginning we have to admit there's great diversity of situations and missionary situations that are possible today, which take obviously into account political, economic, social dimensions of reality of the contemporary world today. And then we can't answer and respond to all the missionary situation. We have to make choices. And I think this chapter, general chapter, Bagamoyo 2, it's giving us orientations and lines of action, which altogether we can be given a good direction on the level of the situations which correspond to our Spiritan charism. So the most important for us is to be aware, to watch out, attentive to new kinds of poverties, new different poverties, which will become for us a major concern for us, because we know that we were founded in the beginning to go towards the poorest and most abandoned. So in the same line, according to you, what would be, the recent big encyclicals Laudato Si and Fratelli Tutti, what would they require for a congregation like ours to change our Spiritan mission? What would need to be changed or adapted to meet what these encyclicals are asking of us? I think it's a major challenge for the congregation altogether globally. We've already, as a congregation, begun a reflection on these issues on the level of JPIC, Justice, Peace, Integrity of Creation. The General House has got orientations. So to respect human beings and respect our planet, and we Spiritans not going to remain outside on the edges. This touches the depths of our humanity. So we put into place, it's necessary for us to put into place a responsible ecology, evidently to make conference more aware, sensitize the people to the challenges, and this goes through the means of education. So our conference become fully aware and all in our works. For example, in the schools that we are directing, that we take into account this problematic of social problems and that we make people aware. So it's a major reality which has to be faced by us. So it has to be treated very seriously, take it seriously, because that it takes into consideration the future of our planet, the future of humanity. So concerning Fratelli Tutti, evidently we all know the importance of living together. And already as a congregation, we live in fraternity and brotherhood, as human fraternity. It's very important. One of the challenges have to face together in our diversity, the diversity of our beliefs, everything that we are in ourselves. It's humanity that has to face this challenge. For us Spiritans already, the most important thing, a congregation, we're international, intercultural. We have to live as witnesses of this new humanity. We're diverse and we're different, but we're united with a common orientation, because we're all created in the image and likeness of God. And we carry within ourselves the presence of the Lord, that the Lord is present in our humanity and in each and every human being. So every human person has the right to be respected and accompanied. So how can we live this fraternity? How can we live it together? This universal brotherhood. It's giving a beautiful witness in our intercultural and international communities. It's there on that level we evangelize people and accompany people. And that's what the encyclical of Francis Fratelli Tutti is teaching us, great things for our humanity in the future. Thank you. What could be the commitment of the congregation in the process of synodality that was 2 weeks ago proposed by Pope Francis? I would say that there is already something happening and being lived in our congregation, basing ourselves on the rule of life, which speaks about collaboration with lay people. There's already this aspect of synodality which is being lived in our mission, throughout our participation of lay people in our circumscriptions, Spiritan lay associates, the fraternities, or the friends of Spiritans. This synodality is being reinforced through collaboration. What is synodality? It's just simply walking together to listen to each other deeply, to discern together, and to build together a better future, a better world. And each one is appreciated and listened to and heard, and their value is respected, their worth. So all together we need to build not only a Spiritan mission as such, but to evangelize people. It's like this that we're going to support our mission, sustain our mission. So what about global warming? Were you aware? Are you already aware, or are you aware now, as Superior General, of the implications of global warming and what's happening? The latest statistics, 9th of August of this year, the new figures, we've been presented new statistics and new models. I'm just announcing that COP26 in Glasgow, next month in Glasgow, COP26, 1.5 degrees by 2030, with the consequences, for example, with the increase of billions of eco-refugees, or even bigger than 2 billion eco-refugees, just from 9 years from now, that's all. How do you see the transversality of this theme in the works of your General Council and in the concerns and the works of the congregation? We at these congregations are at the service of the poorest of the poor, because we know it's the poorest of the poor who are going to be the biggest victims of the global warming and this ecological catastrophe. So the poor are the most concerned, the consequences of global warming. So I've been very happy to see how much the delegates and the capitulants have taken to heart this problem of global warming in our treating of these discussions and the dossiers of this theme in the chapter. Transversality is to be found, first of all, in what is lived in the different circumscriptions. And that's to say that we, as a general congregation, from the general, we give general orientations and principles, which they have repercussions down in the circumscriptions themselves. So concretely for us, we've got to put into practice, we've got to get working systems, concrete systems. We've got to give concrete means for our people to be able to participate in reducing anything that would harm nature or degrade nature. So we need to, in concrete, when we use so non-biodegradable matters, when we recycle different things properly, little concrete gestures, you can't just speak about it. We've got to give concrete actions in our communities, in the congregation, in the circumscriptions. We have to have this awareness, conscientization, this sensitivity, what we are doing. We do concrete actions, not just words, it's gestures. This is going to, the whole congregation will participate, will help to diminish the effects, the negative effects of global warming. because it's a problem for the whole of humanity. We have to participate as a religious congregation. We have to play our part. So, well, yes, but there may be other ways of participating. The specialists tell us today that these little concrete actions, very nice to do, these little gestures, but they don't really do very much to change the global situation. You know, we need to work on a different level, on a political level. How can a congregation like our own act on a political level, on a higher level? What our role in the church today? What message can we give to the world? How do we bang a fist on the table to draw attention, to point out the rights of the poor people which are not being respected and need to be respected? What actions can we do? You think of the students in Europe who go on strike or who rise up against the governments. Stop talking and now begin to act, telling the politicians to act. The governments and politicians who promise something and when they get elected, after 2 or 3 years, they don't do anything. How can a congregation like ours integrate in this movement of protest and of saving the planet? Demanding for justice, so that people who work with us and who we work for can be aware of what's at stake. So already, we have to recognize, admit that there is a work, a duty. We need to be more proactive. Our approach needs to be more proactive. Already, we have to, in the understanding of JPIC, Justice of Peace, Integrity of Creation, we have to be attentive to distinguish about what we are talking. Justice and peace is one dimension, which concerns the whole part of defending human rights. And then you have the second part, integration of creation, which today in our congregation, I believe, is linked. I link it to development. So we have to ask ourselves, the degradation of nature, everything that impacts negatively the climate, it's often caused by businesses and enterprises who use a technology that don't conform to what has been asked of them. So it's at this moment that we Spiritans have to intervene. We have to form confreres and lay Spiritan associates, people with competencies to be able to intervene competently in that sector with the big businesses. You need a dialogue. We need to set up a way of approaching the businesses and the enterprises, challenging them that they don't follow the laws. They should be following the directives that have been given by the world organizations about controlling these things. So at this level, obviously we need to have the competency, but we can intervene at this moment as participants in this. So yes, on the level of politics as well, there's something we Spiritans can do. So not just in defending human rights, we can have a prophetic role. We have a prophetic role to play for the future of the world, always respecting other people, expecting policies and politics, and the different countries, where we're working. So you think the congregation really has a role to play in this? Absolutely, yes. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.